with you. So if you can also indicate on the comment section what you take, team. Okay. So once again, I like to welcome you all. My name is Sboniso Mjali. I represent, in this case, I will say I represent Imperial Managers as well as South African Financial Education Academy. So, South African Financial Education Academy is an accredited academy, accredited by QCTO. We actually train financial advisors, we train insurance advisors, we train investment advisors. So at a level of NQF 6, that's a diploma level and advanced diploma. For now, we will extend further. And under Safia, we also train estate agents. So it's just a broad scope of financial and property qualifications that are fully accredited, meaning SACCO qualifications. That's the first point. And then on the Imperial side, I'm a financial advisor as well. So those are the two things I'm going to mention. So as much as today I was representing BlackProp because I'm also part of the property business. So it was a busy day today. We are trying to move, uh, asking to push the market and everything in terms of real estate and property. So weekends are the time to meet people, the buyers, the sellers, those that want to be qualified. So weekend is the most flexible time for them. That is why sometimes you'll notice that some show houses are on more like on a Sunday because people are available, they are not at work. But enough about that. Let's come back to today's session. Let me make it clear that we normally do these sessions from November till December. Why we do that every year is so that we simply educate our people. When it's summer, that is where most people get into debt, whereby you receive an offer of like you buy now, you pay next day, so you have a free 3 months, and that may actually sabotage you down the line. But we'll come back to that. All right. So, besides being a financial advisor, I'm also a debt counselor. We deal with a lot of financial challenges, but through it all, we always overcome and also assist our community to overcome because at the end of the day, life is not smooth sailing. It's got some financial challenges, a lot of them, but obviously we rise and fall. And when we fall, we know that we will take some lessons and rise good people. Okay, so before we move on, um, I always sometimes balance financial advisory with education. But today we will only focus on education. And our focus is investments. So even next week, we will continue on the subject of investments. Okay. So that's part of education because I want to go after this and do your further research. Thereafter, you can come back for advice. But today is just education so that you can know the options you have that are available at your own disposal. So I will start with unit trust and explain what is a unit trust. A unit trust, it's a form of a long-term investment. Let me explain that. There is what we consider short-term, and then there are those portfolios we consider long-term. So saving, when you decide to save, that is where you are focusing on saving for a shorter term. When you are saving for a shorter term, you are considering things like money market account. What is a money market account? Money market account, it's a portfolio that you can open even with your bank. So, like you can go to Investec or any other bank, ABSA, and Standard Bank. I also have a money market investment account with Standard Bank, and a personal one. you use like, all right. Yes, you can be able to watch the recording later. Who is struggling with the network? Nkanyezi. Okay, it's fine. You can also be able to check the recording later. That's not a problem. Um, yeah, he's struggling with the network. But am I fine with my network on your side? You can give me the thumbs up if it's everything clear. Yeah, that is raining outside, so yeah, it might be that issue of the network. But coming back to the unit trust, a unit trust is a long-term investment, and let's differentiate two things: savings and investment. Savings are more of a short term, that's number one. Savings is not an investment, savings is more of a short term. So when we talk about money market account, we are referring to a short term portfolio that you can open, and you can be able to open that form of portfolio with your bank. That is the first point I need you to understand. You can open that portfolio with your bank, and some banks they charge like 500 to open that portfolio. Other banks they may also charge like 1,000 rand. So what happens with a money market account? I always encourage people to have a money market account, more especially to place some cash. You can put 10% of the amount there. Let's say you have 10,000, maybe you have options to diversify that 10,000, but you can take like 1,000 rand and put it into a money market account, because that is an investment that generate a small interest of like just above 7% per year. Some banks like Tam Bank, sometimes they do to 10%, depending on the amount of money as well. So that is a form of a savings. It's an investment, but it goes under what we call savings. It's more liquid because you also have a bank card, meaning that you can also withdraw cash using the bank card from your investment. You understand? So that is the beautiful thing about the money market account. It can be an option you use for emergencies as well. So if you think that, you know what, for emergency purposes, I just want to put some money on the side, you can also use money market account. So that is also a very good option for you out there. All right. So that's the second part. I'm very much encouraging you to check out for your own maximum benefit. Okay. So that is what? That is the money market account. And then the second option can be, um, other than the money market account, the second option that I can also suggest. And we are differentiating between investment and what? Between investment and what we call savings, so that our good people can understand the difference between the two. Okay, so once we understand the difference between the two, then that will be very much better. Okay, so I hope you are noting down that as I described the money market account. And the assignment I will give you is that you can also revisit, the choice can be yours to revisit the what we call your banks, even if you can do go online. Maybe when we meet again in next week for the same Money Republic webinar, I will also take you through that particular process, just for you, team, to understand the difference between those two things. So, money market account, money market account obviously is still an investment account with the bank, but we categorize it as a savings. You can use it for emergencies, but what is beautiful is that while your money is with the bank, it still generates interest. So with a money market account, as much as there are those monthly charges or monthly fees, but what you are generating is not consumed. Your capital is not necessarily consumed by bank monthly fees. because you are also accumulating some interest with the money market account. Okay, so I may very much encourage you to also compare money market account of different banks. Recently the one from Time Bank, depending on the amount of money, obviously, can take things up to like 10% annual return, of which is a positive. It's just little above um, repo, not repo, yes, repurchase rate, no, no, not prime repo. So, meaning that it's double the number of inflation percentage. So, you will be beating inflation with a money market account, of which can be also a very good option. So, that's one part that I may very much need you to understand. Another savings account that I may recommend is a tax-free investment account. So before you engage in terms of investing, I always say consider, maybe start by saving a little bit there and there. So with a tax-free investment account, obviously you can do that with the bank, you can do that with different investment companies or police companies. The choice can be yours. Okay. So with a tax-free investment account, you can start from a little amount of like 100 rand to 50. That's what you can contribute towards your tax-free investment accounts, TFSA. And you can contribute up to like 20, I think 36,000 a year, tax free, ne? But if you put anything above 26,000, I mean 36,000, then that will attract like a very heavy tax. So those are the options that I may very much encourage you to check out. And then if you are able to check those things out, then you will be in a better position to make decisions. So what I normally encourage is that before you decide, um, start by saving a little, guys. Sometimes it's important to always be starting small. You challenge yourself one way or the other, and it's something that I will always encourage our people to check out, observe, and make sure they do something about it in order to benefit. So the first part I said, it can be um, money market account. When I'm talking about money market, some people they think that I'm talking about this money market, like Shoprite money market. No, it's more like an investment account with the banks, and it has a card. It's flexible. It's always liquid. So sometimes keeping your money in a savings account, normal savings account, um, for cash purposes and expenses, that's all fine and good. But the one that you say, you know what, I want to keep this aside, I may very much recommend that you use a money market account because it also generates you interest. But I will also give you an assignment to go online and compare percentage returns amongst Nedbank, Standard Bank, ABSA, FNB, Time Bank as well. So you are comparing these five. I'm not sure if Capitec does have money market account. I'll still have to check. You are comparing these five or six and see who gives a better percentage, because most of the time that's what may work with you. Then the second part we said is the tax-free investment account and TFSA. So I also put that in the form of savings. We are still like on a saving part. And per year, you are allowed to save and invest up to 36,000 tax-free. In your lifetime is 550,000 tax free. And I will very much encourage our people to also utilize that, because as much as you can start small, sometimes our lifespan is expanding. So you will never know what the future may hold. That's the second part that I may also encourage as part of this form of education. Okay. So if the second part is quite clear and you understand it, that will be great. And then the third one. So I said, if you are, because before we invest, we say let's start discuss different savings elements. The third one, obviously, even the fixed account, it brings some form of discipline. It's one of those things you can utilize. It's not an investment per se, but you can call it investment, but it's fall under what we call a short term, and we can put it at a savings level because we are taking levels, ne? Savings and long term, you are focusing on investing. So when you are looking at like notice accounts, they had a certain stipulated percentage of return for a certain term. You can choose like let's say 7 days notice, meaning that you will wait for 7 days after placing the notice. Or you can stipulate like 12 months. If you keep it for 12 months, it is a certain percentage. 24 months, a certain percentage. 36 months, a certain percentage. So why we are starting from savings accounts, money markets, tax-free investment accounts, notice accounts, why? It's because most of the time, as a financial advisor, I speak to people who are also starting all over again. You understand? So some people are set what I'm explaining, but some other people who are watching this may say, okay, I'm learning, then I will start all over again and I'm going to start small. You understand? Because some things that are discouraging us, we want to start from the top. Let me tell you, you cannot save 10,000 rand if you are still failing to keep and save 200 rand. You start from those smaller amount, then you grow to 200 rand, to 1,000 rand. Then you can go to 10,000. In terms of, we are still talking about savings. So that's another part that I may very much encourage. The fourth one, because I want to share some 10 mentors today. The fourth one, even if you challenge yourself using a method of stashing, a stashing method is where you can open a stashing account or a stash account that can deduct a certain amount. It can be daily, it can be weekly. You create the sequence yourself. So let's say every day it deducts 10 rand from your normal account to stash account. So if it's 10 rand, it means every month it's around about 300 rand, the money that you keep on saving. Towards the end of the year, you have an extra 3,000 rand that you can utilize for stationery and other options. Why I'm saying that? Because I have people who spend like 60 rand per day buying airtime and data just for social media consumption, of which is not wrong, is part of the entertainment. Okay. And that goes to an extent of like 21,000 a year. If you are looking at, I'm buying data for 60 rand per day or 30 rand per day, come the end of the year, that's close to 12,000. It's smaller amount, you don't feel it, but when you start to see it and say, how much am I spending on these things, that is where you get to see that it looks like it's a lot. All right, so that is why we are encouraging this element of always start small. All right, always start small, then you can take it from there. All right. Petros Dube, you are working, you are not working. Okay, we'll talk about opportunities we have, those that may be interested in becoming estate agents. That means you are working and signing your own check. It's not easy, but people are still looking to buy houses using bonds and stuff. So we'll talk about that towards the end, if you can remind me, obviously. Okay, so I've mentioned these four. That's how you challenge yourself, but you must be practical and say, you know what, 50 rand every week, deducting one side to this side. That can also be a very good option, and I will also encourage that. Okay, so I'm talking to people who will say, someone on the comment section is saying, I'm not working, but what is it that I can do? I don't have so many that I can suggest, but we do have other opportunities in terms of property that we'll share towards the end. Okay, but I'll come back to that. All right, and then number 5. Now let's move to the category of investing. I started with a money market account, tax-free investment account, notice accounts, stash accounts. Okay, so let's put that aside. Ne? With the money market account, you can use it for emergency purposes and stuff. Things are happening outside, so you keep something for emergency. Not that you are anticipating something wrong to happen. No, but we must be practical and be realistic about life. That likely you keep is positive and it may mean something. That is second part that I may also indicate. All right. Then now getting into an investment education, because today I told you that it's more about educating each other. It's more about education and making sure that we empower each other positively so that we can do meaningful things. Even though the money is not there, remember you are preparing yourself so that when financial or monetary opportunity present itself, you are already prepared for it. Meaning, when I started working, I was clueless. Even though my first job was working in the insurance industry. That is why I ended up owning an FSP that provide insurance and financial advice. Because that's where I accumulated my first experience. Then I continued to study different things, including property, financial markets, and many other things that there's no time to talk about today. Okay. But coming back to the issue of investment, difference between investments and savings. Investments are more of a long term, savings more of a short term. A short term, like a year, less than a year, above a year, 2 years, we can still call that a short term. A mid term, we can say if 3 years above, we consider mid term to long term. When we are talking about the long term, we always refer to when we talk about investing. Let's talk about 5 years, 10 years, and above. You understand? So this guy, one of the richest investors by the name of Warren Buffett, this guy has always been staying invested. Long time ago, from around 1969, the guy is staying invested. And he's not a guy who loves things. That guy is stingy. Even though when it comes to saving times, he buys something like jet, but still stays in the same house he bought in 1969. I cannot do that. With a lot of money like that, I cannot do that. But he's one of the radical givers. That guy, at one time, he gave half of his net worth. He was the richest man after Bill Gates. I mean, above Bill Gates at some point. He was the richest man in the world through being an investor. Warren Buffett, most of you, they know Warren Buffett. That guy gave half of his net worth, then it dropped down and then it rise again. Today, I don't know how much cash his company is sitting with. So the guy always has this thing of staying invested. That's another part that you must always take into consideration all the time and every time. And all these things I'm teaching you, you can be in a position to do them yourself. You can be able to do this yourself. That is why now we are teaching and educating so that you can sit down, do comparison, then you can be in a position to open a portfolio yourself and manage it yourself. So you are being enabled to become your own financial advisor one way or the other. That's another part that I must also emphasize when it comes to this discussion. I hope that is still pretty much clear and straightforward with you, good people. Okay, so now you understand that savings are very much crucial for a short term. Then, once you've saved enough, then you can say, let me move a certain percentage to investing now. That's a long term. So, when it comes to investing, that will be my fifth point, of which is unit trust. Now, unit trusts are now called CIS, Collective Investment Scheme. All right. So, it's still called the unit trust, but other people, they are now calling it with a new name, of which is CIS. So here there is a fund manager. So like I'll make example with companies like Allen Gray, Coronation, and many others. So in that instance where we are looking at, like, let's say Allen Gray, I would like to make an example because what I like about these platforms, they also have uh, calculators that we can also utilize. Where is this? All right. So let me quickly share this, because while educating you, I want to also become practical about this, so that you feel empowered and you can be in a position to go back and work around this. So this is Allen Gray platform, ne? So let's work around the calculator. Let's work around the calculator. Let's say you decide and say, you know what? I will like to, like, now I'm in a position to invest. I may like to utilize Allen Gray, or Coronation, or Ford, or PSG, and many other options. Okay, so let's say you are deciding that, okay, I will invest 1,000 rand every month, ne? Um, that can be a good option. So this is just a calculator, and you will increment it by, let's say, 10% every year, which is absolutely good, just to keep up with the inflation. Okay. So no lump sum. Let's say just a debit order of 1,000 rand every month. You are not including a lump sum. Then let's say for 20 years. Let's say currently you are 30 years or you are 25 years, but you are looking and say, okay, I do have my retirement on the side. Next week we'll talk about retirement. So please do tune in as well. Different options like living annuities, life annuities, and all those GPF, pensionable years, two-pot system. How does your pensionable years decrease as you access your two-pot? Those are boring things, but that we need to teach in a way that you may feel empowered and understand them even much better. Okay, I hope that is pretty much clear. All right, let's say you are taking Allen Gray funds of funds for 5 years, just to make an example and educate you. This is a platform you can also use and check it out yourself as well. So 1,000 rand, that increment by 10% every year. After 20 years, over time, it could be like 1.5 million, 1 million, 1 million and a half. Ne? It's not bad. Remember, it's not that bad. Obvious, when you consider inflation, that amount of money will not be as strong as in now, but you will be somewhere positively. Some people, when we actually work around this projection, when I was doing my degree in financial market, we will calculate what we call the future value of the amount, playing with different percentages and the terms. You understand what I mean? Period or term. So that's what these are probabilities. That necessarily mean that it's gonna be 1.5. It can be less, it can be a little bit above, depending how things are performing. But the magic is the compound interest. What is the compound interest? Is an interest of interest also generating what? Also generating interest. That is the most interesting part that I may like you to understand. That as you keep your seed there, your seed generate and also have its own seeds and babies. The interest of interest will also be generating interest the next time. So that is what they call the seven wonder of the world. That is the power of the compound interest. Okay, so that's where it comes in and play a very strong element. So if, let's say, you are 25 years and you say, on a side, I may also like to have a unit trust of like contributing like 1,000 rand every month with any reputable, recognized, regulated entity. You can do that, of which is great. In 20 years, you will have added another million of which is still be positive, even though the power of 1 million in the next 20 years will not be as strong as now. But you cannot fold your hands and say because of inflation it will lose power. Yes, it will lose power, but if you are doing nothing, then it means you will have even no power at all. Because even the Bible says money is power, money is security. When you are sending money into your future, the money you save today is the money that will save your future. That's what we always encourage all the time, good people. I hope that is pretty much clear and straightforward. Okay, so I was simply making an example using Alan Gray, like doing a calculator. We have the likes of Coronation and many others that we may check out just to make an example. But before you decide, it's important to work on a financial advice. I will explain the consultations we do, and they are mostly online, so you can also be able to book that consultation. Even for clarity, it's important that we work around that. All right, so towards the end of this month, we'll also have another session where we will be taking you through different options when it comes to insurance, because that's what we do as well. Okay, so let's move on to another part that I may very much need you to understand clearly as we educate each other. And it's never too late for anyone. Okay, it's never too late for anyone. What is important, even the Bible says, my people are actually being destroyed due to the lack of knowledge. I always say what the today's currency is information. Today's currency is knowledge. You understand? Because if you possess knowledge, you can implement and bring about positive financial results. I always tell people that, once you walk a certain way, even if the life take you aback, it will be easy to find your way because it's the direction you've taken before. You understand what I mean? So even if we fall financially, we shall rise because we've done this before and we can do it better now with wisdom and having learned even from our past mistakes. So that's one of the things that I will always emphasize as well. So coming back, while I'm still on the unit trust levels, let me make another comparison. All right, now I'm using Coronation just to make small examples for you to understand. Let's say we are choosing top 20. This is another well-performing and recognized asset management company. Obviously, guys, after this, to understand the different elements, I will say to you, we will very much need to do what? We will very much need to sit down and have some form of consultations. Okay, that will be necessary and also great. Okay, I'll attend the questions, but in the meantime, you can indicate on the comment section as to where are you joining us from. And if you may also like to get these slides and this information and this presentation